our demographic data has got in fact 7 variates, we should look at more than one plot at a time. This is our original plot that we've seen a while ago. Now I've added another scatter plot. This one has number of people per doctor on the y-axis and percent illiterate on the x-axis. If you look closely at both of these plots, you might notice that the plotting symbols appear to be the same. We have triangles in both and squares in both. In fact, these plots were constructed in a special way so that a particular case was viewed by the same point symbol in both plots. We can verify this by clicking on this point here and watching it highlight and downlight itself in both plots. Notice here is the point. Watch how it highlights and downlights itself as we click here. Let's just verify what happens when we set the point size. Okay, so we can put in a really big point size here to make it stick out. And we have this point here appearing quite large in both plots. Now our third plot, which is to the left, is a box plot of the variate infant deaths. And here we also have an extremely large triangle appearing. Therefore, our conclusion is that we have 3 plots and the cases are viewed by the identical point symbols in each plot. In fact, this particular case here is India. So it's India that's got such a high rate of infant death on this plot here. So let us summarize what we have just seen. A view can appear many times on the screen. In fact, as we saw those point symbols, it can be part of many different views, and those views could be of different types. So a direct consequence is linked plots. That is, plots that have components in common. Here we have our original plot of the demographic data. Now let's suppose we want to construct a new scatter plot for this data, and let's construct a scatter plot that consists only of a subset of the points here. We can do this as follows. First, we pick some of the items in this plot that we want to appear in our new plot. We can do that by highlighting. Okay, so first we highlight the title, we highlight the Y variate, and we highlight the X variate. The next thing to do is to select a subset of points, and we can do that simply by brushing here. Okay, so now we've selected the title and 2 variates. We can go here and click on the menu for scatter plot and select the item Spawn View. What Spawn View does is create us a new view of the same type, that is a scatter plot, consisting of the highlight objects in this first plot. So let's do that and see what happens. Okay, here we have our second plot, and as you can see, it's the view window, and some of the items are also highlighted. Okay, so actually we have the same title appearing in both windows, the same variate, Y variate appearing in both, the same X variate. The same holds true for the points. You can downlight the points, and they'll downlight simultaneously in both windows. Finally, I will demonstrate how we can organize these plots, place them in the same window, change their layout, and so on. Here we have just one view window, and it contains two plots for the demographic data, two plots that we've already seen so far. Okay, now this is a little small here. We notice the axis looks a little crowded, so let's try and remove it. Okay, so we can erase it so that it no longer appears. Okay, that looks a little cleaner. Let's also erase this one. And for uniformity, let's erase the axis over here too. Okay, we can tidy this up a little bit by moving the labels. And here. Okay, now we've got the title demographic data appearing twice, so we really don't need that. So let's first of all change it to something more accurate. Okay, and let's remove this one. And just move this. So here we can just move this up to the very top, since it's really now the title for the whole plot. So now let's take this box plot and move it in here to this window which contains our collection of plots. We can do this by clicking on the box plot and selecting copy. So now we just have to map out the area inside here which should contain the box plot. And sometime later we have the box plot appearing here. Now since I've copied the box plot, this is in fact the same box plot object. So when I click, again it appears highlighted in both windows. I will conclude by summarizing what we've seen so far. Graphics are views of objects. These views can be arbitrarily nested. Views may appear inside many other views, and views are highly interactive.